two. This is amazing. As you can see, we have an amazing lineup for you guys today. Eric Boyette, Alex Corona, Karen Elstrom, Michelle Bamba, and then little old me. I'm sorry, I'm the guy that's really messing everything up, but I'm so excited. I'm excited that you're on early as well. And that's one of the things that we wanted to do since we went over a little bit yesterday. We want to make sure that we can come on early today. And quite honestly, I wanted to apologize for my computer shutting down. How crazy is that? But what was funny is before you guys hopped on, we were just all joking that um, you don't have to be perfect as a coach. Isn't that cool? Isn't, I mean, if you guys find that to be comforting, that you do not have to be perfect to be a coach. I have been doing this for 8 years now, and I still jack up every single day. I mean, I just mess things up. I mess things up all the time, and I come back and I have to apologize. I mess things up with my clients. I mess things up with my coaches. I mess things up with my kids. Obviously, I mess things up I just messed up my words right now. I mean, half the time I'm not even saying things correctly. But that's what I love about the fundamentals and the foundations of coaching. It's you do not have to be perfect. So let's talk real fast. Talk to me. How did yesterday go? How was yesterday's action steps, you guys? And as you guys come in, I want to welcome you to day 2. How did yesterday's action steps go? Now, Yesenia says good. Ashley said amazing. Somebody said I didn't get a chance to do them. Terry says awesome, and I don't see all of you guys on the Facebook Live. But here's what I know. I know that the majority of you guys, let me just say it like this. I mean, you said we could talk to you straight, so let's just get with it. I know that the majority of you guys literally still made action step number 1 too hard. What was action step number 1? Put it in the chat in the comments. What was action step number 1? See, this is line of communication. Action step number 1 was not to suspend all fear. It may have been, actually. But I think it was to suspend all thinking, wasn't it? It may have been both. Maybe it was fear and thinking. But I put thinking first. I hope I put it first. And so here's how I know. So I was working with a coach yesterday, amazing coach. And I go, hey, did you put your video up? And she goes, Jamil, I didn't do a Facebook Live, but I did do a video. And I said, why didn't you do a Facebook Live? And she says, well, I wanted to make sure that what I was saying was what I wanted to say. I wanted to come across. And I said, well, how many videos did you do? She said 8. I said, my gosh. Action step number 1 says suspend all thinking and fear. This isn't one of those businesses to where you got to think that much. I say, when coaches tell me they don't have time, this is why. Because they make 8 videos to make sure they get the one perfect one. Look at me. You do not have to be perfect as a coach. You don't. You don't have to make 18 videos to get the right one. You don't. I promise you, you don't. I was working with someone else, and they were saying, I said, hey, did you do the action step did you do the action step? They said, no, I didn't do them. I said, why not? And they said, because I'm already executive director. And I didn't think that the action steps really were like meant for me. And in my mind, I was thinking, how do we mess this up? You guys, we are going to say exactly what to do. Guess what your job is to do? This is why I love coaching, because we can go impact the world. All those dreams you put down, you can automatically hit them. I promise you. What we don't need to do is we don't need PhDs. We don't need Pulitzer Prizes. This is how simple this business is. there's a whole bunch of people that's going to say, do X, Y, and Z, especially for the next 11 days. That I can guarantee you. And then for those next 11 days, we do them. I was working with a coach, and I mean, wasn't Linda fantastic yesterday? I felt like Linda gave us so many nuggets. Here's the thing. Success leaves clues. Now, the clues aren't always going to show up the way that you want to. So you're going to have to hunt and find for them. You're going to have to listen intently. You're going to have to actually like pay attention. And so there was a lot of clues that was dropped there. One of those clues was how many people that she's filling to her funnel every single day. And she said, Jamil, adding 3 new friends isn't enough. I got to go to 10. I got to add at least 10. I got to fill my funnel. I got to fill my auditorium with at least 10 new people a day. And I need to go and connect with them. Now, that was Linda. I was working with another coach and I said, how many people are you adding to your social media pages a day? And he said, well, I'm not adding a certain amount of people a day. And I said, well, how many do you think that you're adding a week? And he said, maybe 2 or 3. And I said, this is defying the laws of action steps number 1. Action step number 1 says suspend all thinking in fear. Why? Because we don't have to think too much. If we say to add at least 3 new people a day, guess what we'll want to do? Put it in the chat in the comments. If we say add at least 3, I told you it's going to be like Daniel-san and Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi was telling Daniel-san to do what? Wax on and wax off. Now, Daniel-san was getting pissed off. He was getting upset. Daniel-san was saying, why isn't Mr. Miyagi telling me exactly what to do step by step? What he failed to realize was Mr. Miyagi was doing it. He was telling them, teaching them how to fight. He was teaching them how to be a world-class citizen. He was teaching them how to be a champion. He was teaching them how to defend himself. But Daniel-san was in his mind. So let's talk about that. How can we move out of this thinking in the sphere? Now, in last series, I introduced you guys to a concept. And I was a little nervous about introducing you to this concept because I don't know all you guys. And when Justin Navini and I were getting started with this thing years ago, I know Justin. I know that I can talk to Justin a certain way. I know that if Justin and I are sitting down at a table and we're thinking about, well, what can we do to really get our story out there, to really start to expand the mission, start helping more people, to start trending towards our goals, we would sit and we would say, hey, do you think I should add 3 more people? I don't know, man. Hey, do you think I should share my story today? I don't know. Do you think I should do a Facebook Live? I don't know. It's a little nerve-wracking. Do you think I should do a healthy happy hour? I don't know. Do you think I should call up this person? Man, seems a little scary. I don't know. And so we came up with a factor. We came up with a philosophy. And that philosophy was all about the mind, the mindset. The mindset. Now, certain people, certain individuals, even certain animals have a different mindset. Like my favorite animal in the world is a honey badger. By far is a honey badger. Anyone out there familiar with honey badgers at all? It just drop a 7 in the comments if you're a honey badger expert. You know why I love a honey badger? A honey badger has a mindset of if I set my intentions on it, if I see it, if I set a goal that's out there, I'm accomplishing this goal or I'm dying. Those are like the 2 choices. I am going to go and battle with that python, and I'm either gonna overtake this python and I'm getting dinner tonight, or I'm okay with dying. I have seen honey badgers chase off male lions. I have seen honey badgers stand toe-to-toe with elephants. I have seen honey badgers get stung by 1,000 bees and still overtake a nest. I have seen honey badgers. I have literally seen a python have a honey badger in its grips, and the honey badger rips out of the python's grip and overtakes the python while fighting off two jackals at the same time. The honey badger has this mindset. You know what that mindset is? The honey badger lives by this philosophy, and that is called the F it factor. Now, I know it's not sophisticated, and I know we're not going to win any Pulitzer Prizes with it, but we want to have the mindset of the honey badger, and that is, hey, F it, let's see what happens. I know there's a pack of lions over there, but I know I haven't eaten in a couple days. F it, let's see what happens. They're eating this carcass. Let me go see if I can get some. Well, what if they get you? Well, what are people going to say? Well, what if you don't have time? Well, F it, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And you know who else has that mentality? I freaking love this little girl. It's my daughter, Mila. My daughter, Mila, does not see barriers. She only sees what she wants. And if she came to your house right now and wanted to get inside, she would knock on your door for the next 4 to 5 hours until you broke down and you opened up the door. She don't care about weather. She don't care about insects. She don't care that's too hot. She's not thinking, what are people going to think of me? She's not thinking none of that stuff. She's just thinking, I got to get inside this house, and I'm going to keep beating on this door until you break down and open it up. That is a mindset, and that is the mindset that's going to take you from where you're at right now and filling up all those lines. It is, man, F it, let's see what happens. And I don't know today, listen to me, I don't know whose names are going on these lines today, but just like the honey badger, all I know is I'm about to go do the things that I need to do in order to make this come true. Somebody's name is going down on this line. That is a mindset of a champion. And that is a mindset that I'm employing you to adopt over these next couple of days. We're not going to have to think too much in this. What we are going to have to do is adopt this mindset that I am going, that I'm going, and nothing's going to stop me. Nothing's going to hold me back. I have made a decision that I'm getting in your house, and you are going to open up this door. That is a mindset. So let me move out of the way. I want to bring on the wonderful, the talented, actually probably one of the people that's really refreshed and enhanced my life this year. I mean, 2020 has been a really interesting year, hasn't it? Put a 10 in there. It's just 2020 has been a really kind of strange year. One of the people that's made that year so much better for me is Alex Corona, and I want to bring her on so that she can share with you her journey from a brand new coach to trending towards executive director, which happened in a very short amount of time. Alex, are you there this morning?
Good morning. Yes, I am. All right. So I started towards the end of February. Being a new coach was a lot of work. I want to share something with you guys. The first thing I did was go to Target and buy myself a little agenda because I wanted to keep track of everything I was doing. I was reaching out to a lot of people. I wasn't only starting conversations. I was making appointments to get on phone calls. All of these people that I would write down were not just people that I was, saying, hi, how you doing? No, these are all health assessments. Everyone that I would talk to, I made sure to get on the phone with them. The first thing, I wanted to do was get their number, get on the phone, friends, family, people on Facebook, my mom's friends, anybody. I was trying to reach out to everybody and anybody, as many people as I could. I was sending out, 20 messages a day. Out of those 20, I was doing 10 health assessments a day. Out of those 10 people, 5 5 people said yes. Not right away, not that same day. This was, my end of February. I only signed up maybe 2 clients, okay? In the beginning, it was kind of slow. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. But because I talked to so many people in March, I signed up like 17 new clients. All of those people that were like, no, maybe, they ended up calling me, and then, they're ready. I'm ready. It's, not right away how they say it's not a no. It's just a not yet. Um, it's scary getting on the phone with people. I didn't like to feel like I'm trying to convince people to buy my program, or I'm trying to sell them something. I really had to get that out of my head and just think like I'm helping them. I would message them and I would say, well, here's my number, let's set a call. Let me see how I can help you reach your goal. I want to hear what your goals are, and I want to see how I can help you. I had to change that. With all the coronavirus stuff that was going on in March, it's crazy that I got to rank up all the way from senior coach to ED. I got certified. And you know what? People have their own stress and stuff going on with the virus. When I get on the phone with them, I never once brought that up. I didn't even say, oh, how is everything going with the virus? No, I try to get them out of that space and think of positive stuff. Hey, well, let me see how I can help you with your goals and what you want to do, and make it positive and get them out of that space. I felt like that got them away from everything that was going on, and got them looking forward to something positive. Let's take this time and take advantage and do something positive for you. Invest in you. You have the time right now. And that really helped, with the conversations. Listen to your coach. I was doing everything Jamil was telling me to do, whether I was scared, I liked it or not. Be coachable. I didn't question him. I didn't like some of the things I had to do, like the videos I'm still super nervous to do, but I did them anyways. Just do it. Don't question it. They're telling us to do it for a reason. It's just a process. You have to kind of just go with it. Reach out to as many people as you can. It's going to make a big difference whether you do 2 health assessments or 10. Someone's going to say yes. It's up to you really how many people you want to reach, what your goal is. You're the one that gets to set that. Well, if I did it, you guys can do it too. That's all I have, Jamil.
I love that. Thank you, Alex. One of the things that was so refreshing about Alex was how she shared her story. She shared her story proudly and boldly, what's happened to her. So what makes you so special, all of you guys that are out there, and I can only see the ones that are on the webinar, not all of you guys that are on Facebook Live, but what makes you special is the most important thing that you have, which is your story. And all of us have different stories, but in which the way we tell our stories is where you will see the greatest effect and the greatest success. So Alex's story is different than Jamil's stories. Jamil's story is different than Karen's. Karen's is different than Eric's, and Eric's is different than Michelle Bamba, who's going to come on next. But it is in the way that you tell and get your story out there. So when you want to move from where you're at now and start filling up those lines, it comes down to how many people are you talking to and how are you telling your story? So I want to bring on Presidential Director Michelle Bamba to really explain to us, how is this woman telling her story? And how does she really get out there on the platform of when she is out in public and really, interfacing with people? So Michelle, take it away.
Thank you, my friend. Good morning, you guys. So we hear this all the time, right? That your story is powerful. Well, I'm here to tell you for the 1,000th time that it is. Because remember, you guys, no one can take your personal experience away that this program gave you. It's unique, it's your results, and it's a story that will never stop evolving. Because sure, as we start this program, our story starts with a healthy body, right? But as the time goes, let me tell you, it's going to change time after time into a beautiful transformation. Because remember, when we're sharing our story, whether we're in person or whether we're on the phone, it's not just the words, but it's our body language, right? So remember, our excitement in sharing is going to determine their excitement and wanting to learn more. Because there's so much power in sharing our stories more often than we think. So I'm going to really dive deep into sharing it publicly, right? Being kind of out in front of your friends, in front of your family, in front of people that you're now just meeting, because this goes beyond Facebook. It goes beyond being behind a screen, but this is just in real life. Because I know some of us have a fear of doing this in public, but you guys, fear is just a false evidence appearing real. And it's not because it really is, right? We just kind of have that mindset that, oh my gosh, I don't know if I want to share my story. But once you get comfortable in knowing how to share it, I know that you're going to feel more comfortable doing it more often. So hopefully I can kind of break that wall down for you. And although we are in isolation right now and cannot be out in public, I want you to really envision what that will look like with you and your story. So I'm really going to kind of break down, how my story evolved in 3 phases of coaching. Because like everything really in Optavia, if you think about it, everything has phases. We have phases in Optavia. We've got phase 1, 2, and 3, which is fat burn, transition, optimization. And then we've got 2 phases, which phase 1, it's us getting healthy. And then phase 2, it's moving on and getting the world healthy and becoming a coach and now getting our surroundings healthy. So I've got 3 phases too when it comes to my story. So let's kind of break that down, what that looks like. Phase 1, that was my story in just my weight loss, right? That was me starting off as a brand new coach and just focusing on my weight loss. And then I have phase 2, which is my 50-50 story. This is now 50% body and mind of what Optavia was giving me, and now 50% of coaching, because now I started evolving more into coaching and what that was looking for in my life. And then I have phase 3, which is where I shared that this program in Optavia has radically changed my entire life. So starting with phase 1, let's go back almost 4 years ago, way back in the beginning of when, I started coaching. I was brand new to coaching. I was new on plan. We started coaching literally a week into plan because we saw how amazing this program was. And at this point, my story was just my weight loss, right? I mean, that's all I really had at that point. I mean, how many of you here put a 1 in the chat if this is what phase you're in, that you are kind of new or you're newer and all you have right now is your weight loss to share? All right, let's do lots of 1s. Well, my story with Optavia really started with wanting to just lose some weight, right? That's why I came into this. Coaching was not on my radar. I just wanted to lose some weight. And it was really kind of to lose the rest of my baby weight. My son was almost 3 at the time. I couldn't use that excuse that I just had a baby anymore. And I just tried everything and I failed multiple times. And I will be honest, and I tell this to a lot of people, I did not believe in the program at first. I tried everything else. I failed at everything else. Why was this going to work? But honestly, the only reason why I did it was because Josh was going to do it. And he was going to do it with or without me. And so I caved in. I thought, okay, let's see. And I went for it, right? So fast forward to 1 weekend, surprise, we became coaches, right? Well, why did we do that? Because we knew how incredible we were feeling, and we knew a lot of people could really benefit from something like this and really see, we started seeing those incredible results, and we were like, okay, we're in. But, this is really the stage where when we're new to coaching and we're feeling amazing and we just want to share it with everyone. So you guys, this was actually one of my favorite phases to share in person. I was not perfect. I was just excited and I was just sharing to everyone. I was in fat burn and literally every conversation I had was sharing exactly how I felt. So a little bit prior to Optavia, prior to coaching, I used to bartend. So I manage a sports bar. I was in front of a lot of people. It was people that I saw every day. I was there for quite a few years, and I just knew plenty of people that, regulars that were coming in. And this is literally how we built. I mean, it's not even perfect, but this is how we built a 16,000 frontline within our first 5 weeks of coaching, because this is how literally every conversation went. It was more like, hey, how are you? They'd come in, I'd be like, great, how are you? Or no, they'd say, great, how are you? And I'll be like, I am doing amazing. I started this incredible program. I'm down 15 pounds in 3 weeks. I have so much energy and I've never felt better. And then what would they say? Wow, what program are you on? You know what? I'd love to set up a time outside of here and tell you all about it. You guys, I was not a pro. That was literally just my excitement sharing that I was brand new to this. I was feeling amazing. I was sharing my weight loss and I had no clue what I was really even talking about, but I shared it with excitement because that's what people are drawn to. They're drawn to your excitement of how you're feeling. And it can literally be that easy. So I used to joke all the time that I used to go from getting people drunk at a bar as a bartender to getting people healthy as a health coach, because a lot of people came from my line of work. A lot of people came from the restaurant, people that I was in front of all the time because I was just excited to share what was going on with me. Even with people where asking, hey, I'm seeing that you're getting smaller and smaller. What's going on? Oh, let me tell you about this incredible program I'm doing. I'd love to set up a time outside of here. So it's really that simple. As a new coach, it's just sharing your excitement. It doesn't have to be some fancy story yet, because remember, your story is going to evolve. So even when I was outside of work with friends and family and people that I was around, I would honestly purposely take my feelings out and have them in front of them. And it really gave the perfect opportunity for them to ask what it was I was doing. Same thing that I would say from the bar, this is the program that I've been doing that's helped me lose 15 pounds in 3 weeks, or whatever it was, 22 pounds in 5 weeks. And you guys, people are curious, find those situations and those ins where you can really share what you've been doing. Because the easiest conversation when people say, hey, how have you been? Oh, let me tell you how I've been, right? You're probably gonna be sorry that you asked me this because I am just so excited. So don't feel like at this stage you have to be a perfect coach or you have to be a perfect story. Just have fun and just share your story with every single person that you encounter. So kind of let's talk about now phase 2, moving on to the story of my 50-50, right? So this was more, now I'm experiencing the weight loss, I'm experiencing the mindset, and now I've been starting to help a lot of people, or a few people, right? So this is more of my coaching evolution. This is the story that absolutely will start to evolve from phase 1, because as you start to help more and more people, it is impossible for your story to stay the same, because now you're further along in your journey. You're able to share more about what this program has done for you. And now you're able to share what coaching is really starting to do for you. For myself, my weight loss story didn't last very long, right? My phase 1 didn't last very long, maybe a few weeks, maybe, or even a couple months. But now this next phase started being about the 50% weight loss and mindset, and how coaching has started playing a factor into my story. Because now I started sharing my story of now how only did I just lose 22 pounds in 5 weeks, but now how I'm helping others do the same. How coaching is helping me with accountability. It's changing the way that I think. It's changing my mindset. I'm learning a healthy new lifestyle. And now I'm actually making really great money just helping others. Something that I didn't think was even possible. And how the best part is we're having fun. That we're having fun helping others in their weight loss. And this is really a fun phase, because this is when you really start to awaken people to a little bit more. And I kind of want to also talk a little bit about, sharing, with someone who maybe doesn't have a similar story, right? So if we're talking to a lot of people, we're not going to relate to a lot of people. There's times where, yes, you may, talk to people that maybe have a little bit of the same struggles or the same interests. But I'm going to tell you this, for myself, I never changed my story to fit anyone else that I talk to. I did relate to quite a bit of people that, that I was talking to, maybe some moms or some moms that wanted to lose some weight. I was able to relate, but honestly, what I did not do is I just didn't change my story. It was my story. It was my story, to tell. And I didn't want to alter that to persuade someone to really relate to me. Because you guys, we are all different. You're going to you're going to meet so many people that have so many different stories, but we all have such unique stories. So don't feel that because you don't have the same struggles as someone else, or your story doesn't relate to someone else, that you have to alter your story to fit someone else. Because this is the best opportunity to share someone else's story, right? We're going to be working through at this point through, helping a lot of people. We are now getting to know other coaches' stories. You're going to get to a point that if you haven't, that you're going to be sharing someone else's story that may relate to this person. And maybe you can even share with them, like, you know what, I actually have helped someone that sounds so much like you, that has had the same struggles as you do, that has a really similar story that you do. So this is really a great opportunity to share someone else's story, and really have it relate to them. You know, you are gonna have a lot of similarities with people. Don't feel like you have to change your story, because be you, right? You are the most powerful tool that you have. You are the most powerful story that you have. So don't feel like you have to change yourself to fit someone else's mold. And then lastly is I have, the final phase, and this is my favorite phase, because you guys, this is how I share that Optavia has radically changed my life. How this is the vehicle that has literally taken to a life that I never dreamed was ever possible for us. Because wherever you are in this business, I want to encourage you to please not give up. From what started in wanting to just lose some baby weight has turned into the most incredible blessing I could have ever imagined, because our lives have radically been transformed through Optavia. Did it get tough sometimes? Yes. Heck yes, actually. I'd be lying if I said it never got messy, because it did get messy, but we never gave up, because we saw what was possible and we went for it. And so ultimately, this is literally my most favorite phase to share. And why is that? It's because this is really the phase that I share, because this is really freedom that I'm living. And I want to share that with anybody that I can, because we are living in unbelievable freedom. Optavia has absolutely blessed us financially beyond belief. Optavia has given us the freedom to retire from our jobs and really work from anywhere that we want to in the world. To be able to travel whenever we want. And you know what, you guys, guess what? People actually are looking for that. People want freedom. People want to be able to not have to clock into a job or sit behind a desk. They want to be able to swipe their card whenever they want and not have to worry about finances. And they want to be able to not have to worry about asking for time off so that they can spend time with their family or they can go on a vacation. They not only want to live that financial freedom, but they want to live that time freedom, because ultimately that is what's important. That's the one thing that you cannot get back is time, right? So my story now starts with how Optavia has changed my life, how coaching has brought me a freedom that I've never imagined. How much do I share about my weight loss? Like this much, literally this much. Do I share it? Yes, absolutely, because it is a big part of what brought me here. But sharing that Optavia is really the vehicle that can take us to really a life of more. Now that's something powerful, because that is where people will do something that they haven't done in a while, and that's to dream. So don't feel like, oh, well, I don't have that kind of story yet. You will. If you don't give up, you will have that story to share, and you're going to see there's so much power behind that. So in ending, your story is going to have a lot of phases. Your story is going to evolve time after time after time, and each phase is going to be just as good as the last phase, because your story is going to change so many lives. So next time you don't really think that your story is powerful, I want you to think again, because it really holds so much more power than you actually think. So Jamil, that's all I've got. I'm going to take it back to you.
Oh my goodness. You guys put it in the chat in the comments. Wow. I want to unpack everything that this woman just said. We don't have that much time, but put 2 or 3 things that you just heard from Michelle that really resonated with you. Wow. Michelle, thank you so much for that. You have all these lines on your paper. We agree, yes? Now, our job is to go share our stories. And the more that we share our stories, then these lines fill up. Now, some of you guys have a lot of lines that you'll want to fill up with clients. The first phase of Michelle's story is really going to allow her to fill up those lines of clients. Now, that last phase, that phase number 3, where she's talking about freedom, where she's talking about being able to retire from jobs, when she's been talking about everything that Optavia has allowed her to do holistically, that is the story that, since she's telling that story now, then anytime she changes her mindset, I told you this is about mindset. So when she changes her mindset that I want to bring on more coaches, which phase of her story do you think she focuses on telling more? When she starts to change her mindset that I want to bring on clients, which phase of her story do you think she shares more? This is how simple this business is. If you want to bring on a lot of clients, tell that phase of your story that's going to bring on a lot of clients. Some of you guys are growing 2 to 3 points. You're moving to FIB and larger, right? So you'll want to tell the part of your story that's really touched you that might be outside of weight loss. What are the freedoms that you've now started to have? Now, we just moved into a new place. How many of our neighbors already do you think know what we do? Okay? We just moved into a new place. We got Robert over here and Lorinda. We have Gabriel over here, and we just met Sherry down the street. Now, all of them have said, how are you? I said, I'm doing amazing. I said, welcome to the neighborhood. Great. I said, well, what do you guys do? They said, what do you do? I said, funny you should ask. A couple years ago, that was me. And then 6 weeks later, that was me. There's my story. And they said, wow, how'd you do it? There's so many different ways that you can now get this story across, but you have to actually be thinking about it. This has to be a passion of yours. One of the things that Michelle talked about, she said excited. Then she said excited. Then she said excited. Then she said excited. She said excited at least 7 times. That she tells her story with excitement. If you're not telling this story open and often and with excitement, then yeah, those lines are going to stay blank. All of them. Even those of you that want to bring on coaches. If you're not excited about what's going on, then I'm not going to be excited. I don't care. And if you're not telling the story, then I definitely don't care because I don't even know. So Michelle just gave us, oh my gosh, it was like amazing 10 minutes. And she talked about how she shared her story with people that she's interfacing with out and about. I want to bring on Eric Boyette, who's one of the best with sharing his story on social media, one of the greatest platforms that we can use. So Eric, can you give us a little bit of edumacation, as they would say?
Ooh, I'll try. Love these trainings, love all of you and hearing something new every time we come on. Michelle is so excited. But why? Why is Michelle excited? You know why I think she's excited? Because she sees miracles every single day. Have you guys seen any today? Put some in the chat. You got them. Seriously, I don't care. You lost 5 pounds. You made $100. You made $1,000. Like, what's going on? Have you guys had any miracles happen to you lately in Optavia? Put those out there. And I wanted to do that because I want to remind you that you see these all the time, every day. We never want to lose that excitement because for our own stories and for those around us, guys, because they happen all the time. And sometimes, you know, some of us are a coach for a little bit longer, and we kind of get used to it. We're like, oh, look, Sally lost 50 pounds in 60 days. Golf clap. Come on, are you kidding me? That's crazy. That's a miracle. We want to stay in gratitude about this stuff in our own lives and in tune with those from other people, okay? So we can share about it. It's so much easier to share when you're truly in touch with the fact that we change lives, okay? You don't have to look any further than the mirror for that, right? Anyway, as Jamil said and told you, my name is Eric Boyette. I'm a regional director with Optavia, but I want to tell you, 2 years ago, you wouldn't have recognized me. You wouldn't know me physically or by my outlook on life. I'm going to tell you my story, but first I want to talk about how that story has changed so many times, just like yours. I love hearing Michelle talk about phases and kind of looking forward to phases I haven't even seen yet. Okay, that's all right. We're going to work with what we have, right? There's been so many times on my journey where my health progresses, and that changes my story. Or maybe my health has lagged, and then I progress again. That's okay too, you know. In fact, that's an opportunity to demonstrate diet versus lifestyle mentality, okay? About how we don't give up, about how we change things. Sometimes my business moves forward. I hit a financial milestone. Oh, I surpassed my old income now. My business maybe hits a bump. Coronavirus came along. Maybe I took a step back and then I learned how to overcome it. All of that stuff is part of your story. The personal growth that I've been through and hopefully you guys are going through is my story, and I get to tell it over and over again. It's always changing. Some people get to thinking like, well, who wants to hear my story? They've already heard it. Well, first of all, most of them haven't heard it. You just think that. That's chatter. And second of all, your story just changed yesterday. They haven't heard that. Update it. Get it out there. Do it frequently. Some of you might want to know, well, how do I get good at telling my story? Maybe you're a new coach and you're just not sure about that. Well, the good thing is it's easy. Okay, we're going to do the same thing that every successful person in history has done to get better at anything. Train and practice. Tell your story. Tell it again. Tell it in your sleep. Tell it to your wife. Tell it to your dog. Tell it on the commute. Tell it while you're on a walk. Yes, I'm totally serious about this. Oh, Eric, no, that's awkward. That's weird. I'll feel weird about that. I don't have time for that. I hear it all. I said it all. But, the truth is, if you're trying to get results of something different than what's been going on for the last however many decades, then do something different. Treat this like it's your job. I mean, a lot of you probably have jobs right now, or at least I think most of you probably have had a job. If your boss came in and said, hey, I need you to learn a new skill, and if you can do that, I'm going to double your income. Would you spend a little time working on that skill? What if they told you you could make your annual income into your monthly income? Would you spend a few minutes? Oh, yeah, I can learn how to make a spreadsheet, right? So practice. I mean, it is not a hypothetical, you guys. You have that job. You were hired. So practice like it's going, like you're going to be singing a song in front of a crowd, like it's a speech you have to give in front of the whole class. You want your story to be natural. You want it to be authentic. You want it to be entertaining. And guess what? First time you tell it, it's probably not going to be all those things. But there's some miracles in there. You just need to figure out how to tell them a little better, right? You want it to come out and just be really natural. I've told my story or even a piece of it so many times, sometimes in just a few seconds to try to start a deeper conversation, sometimes more in depth. But, like Michelle was talking about, like sometimes in public, it just happens. I just get this opportunity. Or in any situation, someone complains about work, they complain about their health, or they complain about their habits, their lack of motivation. Someone says they can't wait to get off work. I love that one. The cashier at the grocery store, they're talking about they can't wait to get off. I'll be like, man, I hear you. That's something I used to say all the time. I used to grind it out every day. I watched that clock like my life depended on it. Not anymore, though. Drop it. Drop the mic. Punch in my PIN number here. I want to see what they're going to react. What are they going to give me? Are they going to give me a raised eyebrow? Are they going to ask me a question? If so, we're on, because that was an invitation. It's just a simple, they might say, oh yeah? Yeah. I found a program, showed me how to master my own habits. It helped me lose 80 pounds. Eventually I left my grind job and I helped others do what I did. So now I work from home on my terms. Then what? Stop. Listen. I'm not just going to keep just chattering at them like I'm an infomercial, right? I want to stop. I want to listen. What are they going to tell me? I mean, first of all, are they receptive? Do they ask questions? Am I bothering them? I don't know. What do they need? These complaints that people have are invitations, guys, for conversations. It's literally a cry out for understanding, and they wish they had solutions, right? Why do you complain about anything? Because you don't like it. You wish you could change it. If a person's making $5.25 an hour in some crap job, like, are we able to help them change that? Yeah. If they're scooting around a little buggy at the grocery store, could we help them? Of course we can. So after you hit them up with a little bit of your story, and assuming there's interest, there's not always going to be, okay? Not everyone's open and receptive. That's okay. I might say something like, hey, I help a lot of people just like you do what I did. I'd love to chat with you more about it sometime. I mean, can I get your number, or can we connect on Facebook? I'm going to have my phone out already in my hand. Maybe I hand them a little contact card. I have a little card. It doesn't say a lot. It just says like the name of my company, my email and stuff. That's kind of my last resort. I'd rather connect with them on Facebook right then, get their number somehow, whatever. Maybe I'll see you next time in the store, like whatever. I want to leave the door open, right? Anyway, some people aren't going to know how to respond to that. Like I said, they're going to freak out. Some are going to be totally receptive. Some are friendly. Some are eager. It's all over the place. But, we don't know what their reaction is going to be. So any one of these people could become your client. The one thing we do know is that if you don't tell people your story, you don't talk to them, then you're telling them something different. You're saying, I don't care. I can't help you. I'm nobody. So are you. So make it a goal to tell as many people as you can about your story. You know, what can I teach them? People give you openings for this stuff all the time. What can I do? Maybe I can mirror what they're doing. I got a little long-winded here, so you guys Google Tony Robbins, look up mirroring. There's some great tips in there about how do you kind of connect with people physically when you're like face-to-face. A lot of things you can do there that will help. I wanted to run through my story real quick too. So 2 years ago, I was what I thought was a typical working dad. I'd wake up, go to work, stop at a drive-through breakfast, get a coffee, watch the clock, go to lunch with friends, back at work, watching the clock some more. Well, usually I'd work well past 5 o'clock. I'd drive home. Sometimes I'd have a happy hour. Sometimes I'd stop again and eat because I was ashamed of how I ate. Sometimes I would eat something and then I'd come home to have another dinner because I was hiding my habits from my wife, my family. By the time I get home, my kids were in bed. I'd crash on the couch, watch TV, drink some beer. Everyone else was asleep. I'd get up, I'd eat more. Many times I'd pass out on the couch. I'd get up and I'd do it all again. I was living in a haze and I felt like crap, but I told myself this is just middle age. I was completely unmotivated to do anything, and my weekend goals were to do as little as possible. That was my Groundhog Day. Rinse and repeat over and over. But guys, I was lucky because my health started to show up in ways I couldn't deny. I had hypertension, pre-diabetes. I started having massive headaches from exerting myself, high cholesterol, reflux, GERD. I was miserable. Finally, that led me into the doctor, and he fixed me, with another blood pressure pill. So I'm like 40 years old, and I'm taking 3 blood pressure pills. That didn't work for me. Talked to my coach. My wife and I ended up getting on program. Andrew, kid, he was positive, he was cheerful. I was gruff, I was skeptical. So remember that when you're dealing with new clients, by the way. They're not always going to start out right where you want them. Despite my walls, my coach helped me to trust the process, and I had to learn to stop dieting and to start changing me and how I identified myself. I shared my progress on Facebook around the 3-month mark because the program was working, and I'd lost 50 pounds by then, and I was off all these medications, and a lot of people took interest. So I decided maybe I'd give this coaching thing a try, despite telling my coach I'd never do that. I became a coach. Again, I was lucky. I literally had 6 clients when my job was going really bad, my day job, my grind job. I walked out of that job, took stock of my savings. I said, I can do this health coaching thing. We were starting a training just like this. The next day, I did that. I brought on something like 16 clients in a month. I became an executive director. I was making enough to pay my bills. That was 2 years ago. Well, since then, I've surpassed my corporate income. I do this full time. I get to help people all the time. I'm fulfilled. I'm more healthy. My wife and I lost over 80 pounds each, and now I get to invest in myself every day. I get to be better today than I was yesterday. I'm no longer over the hill. I'm charging up a hill. Anyway, it's enough about me. Let's talk about your habits and how we can help you with them. Let's tell your story, and what does your next chapter look like? On social media, it's the same, guys. It's just the same kind of approach. You learn about people through their profiles, and you do the same thing. Whether you have 30 seconds or you have 30 minutes, tell your story. That's your job.
My gosh. You guys put 2 or 3 things in the chat in the comments that you just got from Mr. Eric Boyette. Wow. Whew. Thank you so much, Eric, for blessing us with that. Now, Michelle talked about being out in public. Eric's talked about so much with telling your story via social media. You got years and years and years of a story. I'm 39 years young now. I have 39 years of a story. You know what I do every single day? Is I find a way to tell little pieces of that story. If you go on my social media right now, yesterday I talked about being on welfare, growing up. The day before that, I talked about my relationship with my father and some of the lessons that Daddy taught me. I'm always talking about my story, always. All you got to do, success leaves clues. By the way, some people will get off of this training today and say, they didn't really teach me anything. You know what I did when I just did this a couple minutes ago? I left you a clue. Your job is to dig in between the words and to find the clues that are being there. So can you do this on your phone? Can you just show your picture like this to 10 to 20 people a day and have a conversation about it? Can you do that? That was a clue. What Eric has been saying, these are all clues. What Michelle has been talking about, these are all clues. They are dropping so many clues. Our job is to catch them and then start duplicating them. So you'll want to, on your social media, tell your story. There's a chapter in the book that I wrote, 12 Shifts, that just literally the title is Tell Your Story. Your story is so important. In fact, let me be quiet and let me bring on Karen Elstrom. If Karen Elstrom did not share her story years ago, I would not be here. On the other side of you telling your story boldly and proudly daily, there's freedom for other people. I have gotten unique freedom because Karen Elstrom decided to do what we're going to talk about next, which is to pick up that dang phone, to use the epic factor, and to tell your story. Karen Elstrom, can you come on and teach us how do you tell your story and share your story from something that's so simple, which is picking up the phone?
Yeah, picking up the phone. Put a 1 in the chat if you feel like, whoa, really? We have to pick up the phone? That is so difficult. That phone is so, so heavy when I go to tell my story. So when I started coaching 10 and a half years ago, I just did what my mentor coach, Kim Fisk, told me to do. She was really successful, and coaching does leave clues, right? Success leaves clues. And I wanted to be successful. So I duplicated what she was doing. This is what she asked me. And I'm asking you this. What are you excited about? Well, I was excited that I had lost 50 pounds. I had more energy. I was feeling amazing. Remember, this was at the beginning of my health journey. Then she said, who are you going to tell? And I'm like, everyone I know? Yes, exactly. And that is your contact list of people. What are you going to do next? Well, I guess I have to get the word out to everyone on my list. Exactly. And that's how I started building my business almost 11 years ago, using the phone to share my story and get the word out about what I was doing. The phone, you guys, that's what we did back then. We didn't know much, but we knew if you wanted to build a huge business, you have got to get on the phone, because it is impossible to reach everyone through social media. And so you get to have real voice-to-voice conversations, and the person you are speaking with can hear your energy and what you are excited about. And that's what sells, your excitement and energy. You've heard this over and over and over. So just for fun, I'd like you to go to your phone and check your phone contacts. Click on contacts, swipe to the end, and post in the chat how many contacts you have in there. Post them in the chat. How many contacts do you have in your phone? 2170, 2,500, 900, 2,800, 1,400. You guys, so do you, I'm sure most of you have heard it. If you're new, maybe you haven't heard this. Look at this. Look at all these numbers. So we like to think 1 in every 10 of people that we talk to becomes a client. So do the math. Holy smokes. Here's like, I'm just looking at the first one here, 5,400. My gosh, 540 clients are sitting in your contact list. And not only that, you have phone numbers for all these people. You think it's worth it? And you have some sort of relationship with them at some point. They don't have to be your best friend, but you do have their numbers. So let me tell you how I shared my story on the phone over and over and over. This is how I got the word out when I was beginning my coach journey. I didn't know much, but I was excited about what was happening to me, and I wanted to tell everyone. So I'd pick up the phone. Hi, Marie, this is Karen Elstrom. How are you? Hey, I have a quick question. Do you have a minute? What do they say? Yes. Do you want to hear something really exciting? What do they say? Yes. I don't know if you know this or not, but for the last 15 years or so, I really struggled with my weight. I had no energy. I hated how I looked. And honestly, I truly was beginning to feel hopeless, that this is just how it was going to be forever. I tried so many programs and wasn't successful at any until now. And in the last 20 weeks, I've lost 50 pounds. Right? I know. It is amazing, isn't it? I feel fantastic. My energy is through the roof. I've even dropped like 4 pant sizes. Right? Yeah, I agree. And I feel like a different person. And now I am helping other people to be healthy as well. I want to get the word out about what I'm doing because it has made such a difference for me. And you know people I don't. So what I'm asking you is this. May I send you my information and a little bit about what I do? What do you think they say? Yes. While you're looking at this, if you think of anyone who's struggling with their weight, would like to be healthier, wants maybe to have better eating habits, struggles with low energy, would you be willing to share my information with them? Yes, they say. Thank you so much. That is all I need. What would be the best email address for you? Okay, great. Would it be okay if I kept you updated from time to time on how things are going with my program? What do they say? Yes. And hey, are you on Facebook? If I'm not already Facebook friends with them, I want to connect with them. So I say, hey, let's connect there. I love having Facebook friends. Would it be okay if I gave you a quick call tomorrow to make sure you get the info? Oh, great. Thanks so much for your help. Hang up. That is it. This is what I did over and over and over. This is one of the ways I built my business of clients. And a couple things about my example. You want to get right to the point of the call when you're on the phone. Don't chit chat in the beginning because they might go, what is she calling or he calling about? Especially if it's someone you haven't talked to in a while. So then you might, if you try to chit chat, then you go, oh, by the way, and now the person you're calling is like, oh, that's why they're calling. Get right to the point of the call. Some people say, Karen, what if I haven't talked to these people in a long time? I had lots of calls like this. My high school classmates, for one, and that was a really long time ago. So I addressed it right away. Hey, Marie, I know we haven't talked in forever, but I am so excited about what is happening to me. I am calling everyone I know, or I'm calling everyone on my contact list. It doesn't matter. They don't care. They just don't want to feel singled out. It's like, oh, they'd feel bad if you didn't call them once you told them that you were calling everybody. So for quite a few years now, my goal, of course, is to add more coaches to my team. So my calls are around coaching, and my story has evolved, as you've heard Michelle and Eric both talk about. We have different phases of our story. My original story was weight loss and how excited I was about that. But I had more of a diet mentality, and it's evolved into a life-changing decision. This is what I share now. Optavia has given me freedom in my life, both financially and freedom of my time. Who doesn't want that? Sometimes they don't know that they want it yet, but it doesn't matter. I share it anyway. When I talk to some of my friends that I haven't talked to in a while, my conversation is around, you know what? I really need to tell you what I'm doing because I don't want you to be upset with me in a few years when you see all the freedom that I have and you're wondering what I'm doing and I didn't tell you about it. I had someone message me and ask me if I won the lottery when they saw how often I was traveling. Guess what? I said, well, you know what? Yeah, I did, and you can too. You want to hop on a call? So I take advantage of every opportunity to share what we have because, oh my gosh, doesn't everyone need and want to know about what we're doing? And as you've heard, it's like, I truly believe that our story is our most powerful tool that we have. Our story, your story can change lives, change lives. You'll want to take time to really connect with your story to emotion. And your story will evolve as you grow in your business. After almost 11 years of coaching, my story has definitely evolved, but several things have remained the same. I always share my story with energy, passion, excitement, and truly from my heart. You will learn as I have people are buying you and what you are excited about. Often, probably they don't even hear what you're saying, but they hear your energy and they want whatever it is you're having. They don't care so much about the facts, or they don't really care how you heard about the program. We all have a really unique story, and we want to learn to tell it very well. If you're not excited about your story, guess what? No one else is going to be excited about it either. So practice it out loud to your family, to your dog, as Eric said. I feel the same. In the mirror, video yourself and watch it. Does it inspire you? The great thing about what we do in our business is we have the opportunity to get better and better in every area. All we have to do is practice. And we have all these trainings that are for free that can help us be the best version of ourselves. The other thing about our story and sharing, especially on the phone or actually anywhere you go, you want to become a really good listener. Listen to what is missing for people. Listen to where there is struggle or pain. Listen to where they're not feeling fulfilled or satisfied. Listen to their hopes and dreams. We have a solution for them, right? And you can share it with your story. There's so many ways that Optavia has changed, enhanced, blessed our lives. For me, too many to share over the last almost 11 years, too many to share in my story. It would make my story way too long. But as I'm listening to people talking, whether I'm on the phone or in person, I will share the parts of my story that best serve and connect with them. I share it because I know this is what they're looking for, because I'm listening. It could be something maybe that I rarely share. Maybe that's not a part of my routine story. What I share now, though, is very different than what I shared when I first started coaching. I am open and I'm vulnerable. I share my challenges and my struggles. I share that I'm a work in progress. It makes you real and it makes you human. I share all of that with my story. So be flexible with your story. Share things about your story that maybe are more relevant to connect with the person that you are speaking of. And if you don't have anything that you feel would really connect with them in your true story, share someone else's story that maybe they could relate to even more. The more you connect with people, the more opportunities you have to share your story. I'm always looking for ways to share it. I plan to get into conversations with most people I come in contact with, whether I'm standing in line at a store, server in a restaurant, flight attendant, seatmate on a plane. Obviously with social distancing, some of these are a little bit more challenging, but you can always find a way. You can be Mila, right? Be Mila, knock on the door until someone answers. Oh, well, that's not so easy to do now, so I'm going to find another way. Just don't stop. You can find so many ways to share your story. And I like to infuse little parts of my story and leave them wanting more. I had someone call me not long ago about an insurance plan that we had, and I was just getting ready to make a shake in the blender. And when she called, so we barely got on the line. I go, oh, just a second. I'm just going to make a noise for a second. Turn the blender on really quick. And then I said, oh, I'm really sorry. I had to blend up my shake. I eat every couple of hours with this amazing program I'm on, and it was time to eat. She goes, oh, no, that's okay. And I said, well, thank you so much. I mean, I certainly can't complain because I've lost 50 pounds doing it. She was like, what? I need to lose more than 50 pounds. Honestly, you guys, she became a client. We didn't do a health assessment then. We made an appointment later. She lost her over 50 pounds. So I ask people that call me to sell me something if they like what they do. Trust me, most do not. It's an interim thing. They're looking for something else. And here's the thing. If it doesn't matter if they do or don't, you're just getting the word out. You're connecting with them. You never know when someone will be looking for you. And if you don't ask, well, you already know the answer, right? So I just want to say that if I don't have an opportunity to share my story with a new person that I meet when I'm out and about on the phone, I should say, if I like them and we have a connection, I will do my best to make sure I connect with them on social media, knowing they will see my page and I will have another opportunity to share with them. Because you don't want to feel like you don't want to make sharing your story your agenda. And you want to make building relationships your agenda. So work on the relationship, and then, wow, you know what? You're really awesome. It'd be really fun to stay connected. Are you on Facebook? Are you on Instagram? So start building relationship with this person, and you'll have the opportunity to share your story later. Because once they're on Facebook or Instagram, they're going to be asking me what I do. It happens almost every time. So here's some ideas to make connecting with people easy, whether it's on the phone or out and about. The first thing, and I think this is so important, always smile, even when they can't see you. Smile from your heart, because you can hear it in your voice. You can hear the difference between someone smiling and not. Pay attention when someone's talking to you. Listen, just listen, period. When you do not listen, it makes the other person feel like you just don't care about them. Ask questions, be interested. Focus on getting to know the other person. People love to talk about themselves, right? And when they can do that, and when you're asking them questions, they think you are the most interesting, amazing person that they have ever met, and all you've done is ask them about them. Remember their name and use it in the conversation. I don't always remember, so I always write it down so I can use their name when I'm talking to them. Care about others. Honestly, nothing else matters if you don't act like you care about those around you. Add value to their life. And be yourself. Share from your heart, because your story is truly the key that can unlock someone else's prison.
Well, she did it again. Makes you want to curl up in a ball and just read a nice little bedtime story. Karen's a master at it. She's a master at telling her story. She is so good at it. And she finds ways to do it all the time, whether she's on vacation. And nobody ever knows where she's at. Where's Karen at in the world today? All of that has come from this woman being able to share open and authentically her story. And I love that she asked us to open up our phones and to look for our contacts. And I saw that someone had, I believe it was 64 contacts in their phone. You know what? You're highly blessed and highly favored, whether you know it or not. When I see 64 contacts, I see at least 300 clients. That's how I see it. So imagine I got 2,500 people in my phone. Imagine how many clients and coaches that is. You have 64. Why is 64 contacts in your phone at least 300 clients? Why? You guys help me out with that. Why is that? Why is that at least 300 clients and coaches? Why? Because those 64 people got mamas, they got aunties, they got cousins, they have coworkers, they have kids, they have pastors, they have friends that are all struggling and all want what you have. The problem is those 64 people don't know your story. They don't know that they can send those people to somebody that can provide them a solution. Their mom's on type 2 diabetic medication right now, struggling. They're looking for a solution, and they have no idea that you, Janet, have a solution that can help them. Why? Because you haven't shared your story. That's why. So when Linda comes on yesterday and she says, I brought on 64 clients last month, guess what Linda did? We could literally end the 11 days now. Guess what Linda did? So people say, how come no one else been able to bring on 64 clients? Linda talked to a lot of people. Linda shared her story with a lot of people, and Linda asked a lot of people to tell other people about Linda. And she probably did it with a little bit more excitement, a little bit more throughout the day, a little bit more energy, a little bit more boldness, and she probably used the effort factor a heck of a lot more than most of us are willing to do. That's how. If you want to go and impact the world, just think about some of the biggest religions that are out there. That started with somebody, one person, telling an incredible story that then went to the next person and then the next person. And then it had this multiplication factor to now the world knows these religions. This is called a mission. Your Optavia business, your story can turn into that if you will share it. That's just how it is. So we have to suspend all fear, and we have to suspend thinking. How many of you guys literally, and we're family, and we're going to get you out right now, but I want us to be truthful. When Karen talked about picking up the phone, how many of you guys got scared out of your mind? Just put a hashtag afraid. That's why I said you have to have the philosophy of F it. Let's see what happens. You have to suspend fear, and you have to suspend thinking, and you just got to go. You just got to go. I said 10 people a day will know my story. Not I hope that they do, not if everything went well in my day that they do, not if my house didn't flood, not if Amanda wasn't pissed off at me, none of that stuff. At least 10 people a day will know my story. And not that I'm going to post something out there and hope that they see it. No, I am talking to at least 10 people a day, and they are going to know my story. That's what it comes down to. You got an incredible story. Go share it. Go, 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 go. Stop thinking about it and go. How many of you guys are going to go? Just put hashtag go. Text your neighbor, say go. Text your coach and say go. I'm going. Just go. Go. You got a story. Go, 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 go. Go tell it. That's all we got to do. I'm integrated presidential director. You know what? Why? The only difference between you and me is I've told my story to way more people. And I'm like Mila, I don't even hear it when people say I'm not ready or no. Because I'm only focused on getting in that house. I'm not focused on doors that are closed. It's a mindset, man. It's a mindset. Let's get you guys out of here. Woo, today was good. Was today good? Are you glad that you guys woke up and got on this training this morning? Man, we didn't even charge you for it. Isn't that cool? So cool. All right, so action steps day 2, and I promise my computer is not going to turn off today. All right, this is going to be the first action step for the rest of the series, I'm sure. You got to suspend all fear and thinking, and just what? Finish this, and just what? The congregation says what? And just go. Stop thinking about this stuff and just go. People are waiting for you. Now, yesterday we talked about your I Will Win the Day cards. Go on and make sure that you have that today and then post them on our Facebook page. Okay, let us all see how you are going to win the day. This is it. The day is never going to run you anymore. You're going to wake up every single day and say, I am declaring today is going to go like this. I am going to win the day. So be sure to control your day. Don't let the day control you. Text your support team to 10 people today that you will be reaching out to and sharing your story with. Let me say that again. Remember, you don't have to think about this. You just got to do it. Text your support team today and text them to 10 people that you are going to be sharing your story with. Okay? Now, until at least June 1st, give something up that you're addicted to. Ooh, I just stepped on some toes, huh? Some of you guys are addicted to talking to yourself negatively. Can you give that up? Some of you guys are addicted to fear. Some of you guys are addicted to pessimism. Well, Jamil, that might work for Karen Elstrom, but that ain't gonna work for me. You don't understand where I've been. She's got a bigger network. Can you give that up for like the next 10 days at least? Some of you guys are addicted to blaming. Well, Jamil, I got 4 kids and I don't have any help. Can we just give that up? Some of y'all are addicted to making excuses. Well, it's raining over here in North Carolina. Like, let's move past that and become leaders and give up one of those addictions, just one. Are you guys good with that? Some of it's alcohol, some of it's food. Most of you got an addiction in your mindset that is not serving you. Let's make sure to give that up. Can we agree to that? Okay, look at your goals and dreams at least 3 times a day. Now, this is important. What I'm telling you, I'm like Mr. Miyagi right now. You probably don't know why I'm saying this. Just do it because it works. And we must look at those dreams and those goals and those lines before you go to bed. You don't have to know why, and you don't have to know how it works. Just trust. Just trust. I did this for a year. You can go on my YouTube channel right now. It was February, I think, 2014. And I said by a year from now, February 2015, I'm going to be here. Go look at the video. That very next year, that's exactly what had happened. Why? Because I did what I'm explaining you to do right here on this slide. You got to look at those, especially right before bed. Okay. Continue connecting with your inactive clients. You were supposed to pull your inactive client report yesterday for those of you who have inactive clients, and start 10 new conversations with 10 friends off social media today. Start by saying hi. Now, this is going to be something that you want to do every day, and these are new people. So did I say, Eric, did I say 3 friends? Did I say 7? Did I say when you can get to it? How many? Life is a numbers game. How much weight did you gain? How much money do you have? How many people are you going to talk to? This is a numbers game. So 10 friends, not 3 or whatever you want to do. So make sure any pictures you take while on trainings, you're posting on your Instagram and Facebook stories. This is a way that you tell more of your story. Do you guys understand what I'm saying when I'm doing this? So as you're on training, you want to make sure to be broadcasting that stuff. Hey, look at my community. Hey, look what I'm a part of. Hey, look what I'm learning. You want to start broadcasting that, and you want to start using your stories. So great day 2. Whoa, are we really over 15 minutes? All right, we're going to post a playback for you, but even if we don't, of course, it's streaming live, so I don't necessarily need 25 messages today saying where's the playback, because it is live in the group. It is in there, so we can always go in the group and watch it live, but we will post a recording for you. And now we made a promise to each other 2 days ago, and the promise was that we would be committed and we allow ourselves to be coachable. So let's go and do the work. Love you guys. Thank you for jumping on this morning.